sjá dreggjan á ferli neðanvor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities on the Val-human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
Whew. Nothing quite like a horned giant just striding through men.
Hverfið á braut! Engan eigi hlut að máli þessu!
You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at a tougher fight than they bargained for. Portraits show the order of initiative, taking turns from right to left. It's my turn. Movement having these 4 actions. Some characters fill more tiles than others. Target an enemy on the tile in which they stand. I can attack armor or just straight attack. So I will attack armor for this one. Ooh, nice. He's down. Each time you make a kill, your renown grows, which is used later to improve your characters. After taking an action, your turn ends. Next up is the enemy. Turns always alternate, even if you're outnumbered. Despite being at full strength, the chieftain will do little damage against your shield banger and his high armor. Now it's your Warhawk's turn. He appears to be out of range of these enemies, but all characters can use willpower to boost their actions. Willpower is a limited resource, so use it wisely. Now I have an attack. Standard attacks only affect a single enemy, but your Warhawk has a special ability that gives him a unique advantage. Get down. That made quick work of the chieftain's bodyguards. When there is only one player left, the player is entered pillage mode. During pillage, each character moves in order, and there are no more guaranteed turns. Check the initiative to see how the order has changed. So the chieftain will go first. He gains a willpower if he doesn't move. Add exertion with my willpower and I can do more damage. And down he goes. The foes ow. Come on.
Like a rabid wolf, that one. How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. My grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed, watched man and var slaughter each other, even before the dreads arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more dreads to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. A dozen families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade, quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I am in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight, and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
Chapter 1. Only the sun has stopped. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you leave the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. Eric, steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? Yes, it is. The governor tells me you've been giving us a hand. Seems a bit chaotic here, Eric. It's been worse. We've got a lot of irons in the fire. What does he want exactly? Scarflings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out the chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. He was hoping you'd join me in the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. To the market. Let me handle this. You meander through rows of open-faced houses and eroded stalls. Colored canvas flaps out on a briny current. One man in particular blanches. One man in particular blanches as you approach. Had, I'm not in the mood today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scoffling's chieftain bled out an hour ago, Had. So when you tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into, no one's going to try and kill you this time. I don't talk to, but they don't like to talk to me. Eric overturns his flimsy table, scattering Had's assortment of junk across the ground. Gods, Eric! Laying it on a bit heavy, don't you think? Where are the Scofflings? Nobleman, up by the east wall. But that was months ago, last I know. Had sulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things up from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gunnulf, were you wearing green back in the Great Hall? No, I just bought them while I was walking around. Why? You look like a frog. Better than an eggplant. Gunnulf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used to be Scalfling. If they're licking their wounds, they'll probably go to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a mead hall? Best I can tell. The name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm going to find him. I'll meet you there. Where is this place again? Nobleman is halfway up the hill towards the Great Hall. You won't miss it. Just make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. I'll remind him. To the meat house. You arrive in front of what must be Nobleman. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? You're walking through the front door? They ran to a meat house, says Valgard. I'll be surprised if they can stand up straight right now. Okay, here we go. Valgard boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn. Wide-eyed, drunken scofflings scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and mead steins in the process. Hey, Six Junior, thanks for joining. This is the Banner Saga. And yes, it is a game, and you're about to see the actual game in progress. It is a turn-based strategy game. Attack, rally, press. So I'll have him move. Let's move him up this way. Turn-based strategy game, kind of like XCOM in the same sense that it's turn-based. All the animation is hand-drawn and it's quite beautiful. Attack. Oh, he's dead. Dead Scoffling. Let's hit this guy's armor so it's easier to take him down. Ow. Ow. Let's move you over. Right here, so I don't get in the way of the Warhawk. Let's hit him in the armor. There we go. Shield banger just took a bit of a hit. But let's see, I've got 8 there and 3 here. Let's hit him in the armor as well. Warhawk time. Let's see. This will hit all 3 at once. Oh ho ho! Took down all 3. He's at 6, he's at 7. Let's move here. And build up armor. Now I've got them both pinned. I'll spend 1 willpower. Then hit this guy in the armor. With 2 more will. It's a good hit. Alright, I can hit him for 4 and him for 2. Let's hit this guy for 4. Alright. 3, 5, 7. Let's hit another Tempest. Down they go. And this should take him out. Down he goes. Last man standing. And I'll have Eric take him down. Down he goes. Clothes lying dead at your feet would... too fast. And Gunnulf's been promoted. Excellent. With a fair amount of renown to go with it. There they are. Gods be damned, I've got to go wash off all this blood. Eric is looking out of the hall's windows into the bay. A fleet of longships approach with sails of bold red and blues. One banner I know well. Vognir, next in line for Valship. Last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Yeah, important guests. See what I deal with all day long? Ah, things make a little more sense. You hoped I'd have a stake in saying everything's fine here when royal guests arrived. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? Let's be generous. What is it? If you happen to stall our guests down by the docks, I won't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Volgard hustle from the meat house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go greet the new arrivals down at the docks. Welcome, Mundane Raptor. Thanks for joining the stream. And we'll head to the docks. Vognir. A familiar Varl steps to the docks. In your mind you recall a much younger person, tramping the halls of Grofheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you're looking ancient. Comes with being old, and if there's a Vognir here, there must be Hakon. Must there? It's called the Banner Saga. It's a really fun game. I enjoy it a lot. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorander demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grofheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returning from Aberrang, in fact. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ship in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head emblazoned on red. The King of Men, or someone on his behalf. The King's whelp. The King's son, Ludin. Don't you know Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Hakon, it is. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. Then you're going to Groftheim. I have the distinct feeling I'll be finishing my business in Strand and heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but, let's just be done with it. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where's Moger? Hakon, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Moger. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young Prince of Men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. And yes, they do have horns. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it's been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, you might not hurt to share a drink with Hakon or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. Talk to him or the prince. I suppose I should introduce myself to this oh-so-wonderful example of humanity. This is the right place. You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you with Wagner. I remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying ties to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. What do you want? Let's go with the inquisitive side of things. I have a habit of recording history. I thought we might want to talk about your visit. A Varl historian. Ah, don't you already know? Your king and mine both have been practically trumpeting it throughout the cities. I've been on a road for a while, I'm afraid. Ludin takes a deep sigh. Whether tired or ungracious, you aren't certain. Maybe both. A formality, mostly. Wagner came to our capital in Aberrang, and now we must go to the Varl's capital in Grofheim to cement the grand alliance for the next age of men and Varl. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it. It's damned cold up here. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. Yes, very fine example of humanity. After that, it's time for a drink. Scrivener. You find Hakon in a mead house surrounded by other Varl. Strand is no stranger to Varl, but rarely sees this many. Hakon waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make around collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as a Yox fart, I might be desperate to make a name for myself, too. It's not too late to start trying, Hakon. Hakon lets slip a low chuckle. Any Varl who could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grofheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. To the Great Hall, as there are no other options. At dawn you're awoken by delivery of goods. At least, you think it's dawn. Damned hard to tell when the sun never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. And there, just as promised, to your mild surprise, you wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already there. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Moger steps forward, Wagner's quartermaster. If you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. You are. You follow Moger and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guard have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think. It's not quite a neon sign, but it's enough to identify it. It's not there if you are not going there. And so the journey continues. Begins. Departing from Strand, just look at this background. Look at the ruins off in the distance. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Moger, cracking open meat casts, from our gracious friends, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the meat is passed throughout the camp. Drink a little, drink a lot. Toast to Wagner. Let's toast. Let's be good hosts. You raise your drink, toasting the alliance between Men and Varl. The others join in. Luden's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit beside Wagner. Chat, drink merrily, or go easy. Yeah, like I said, they did a lot of thought in this design. Let's chat. Thanks for the speech, slurs Wagner. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Moger, I've got the damned governor. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, it turns out. I'd have given you the job too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happened after the business with Luden? Hopefully the boy goes back to Aberrang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hakon. You don't like the life of the diplomat? Don't you miss the fight, Ubin? You down your mead instead of replying. Wagner slouches and shakes his head. But there's no great joy in killing Dredge. But this, pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be, warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Varl. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. You rise groggily. Campsite, a casualty of merriment. Moger is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up, you nudge Wagner. You're needed. It's Luden. What a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. The world map. Grab the map to look around. A portrait icon shows where your caravan is in the world. You can also tap on any location to get some history about it. When you're done with the map, tap the X button on the bottom of the screen. So here we are. Just out of Strand, looks like we're heading north through Huron, up this road and heading to Grofheim. So we'll probably head this direction, with Verdfeld being next, followed by Schlid. We'll either head down this road straight away, or we'll stop in Stonehorn through Falster to Grofheim. And if I'm not mistaken, you can get a bit of history about the world. The cardinal directions. So much detail. And just look at this map. Quite a nice little Pangeic portion of the world. There's more down here, looks like, in Dalaland. And here's Aberrang, the human capital. Here's Gralfheim, and then up here by Dunder's Beard. This is where the dredge that they keep talking about. We head north, then east past the forts. Gralfheim's far from Strand. It's going to be a long march. You should have drunk last night, Luden. Why not take ships to Skymerstead? What's the point of marching? Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skyrimstead. A half-sunken city crawling with dredge prints. Dredge and glaciers. Do you like glaciers? Luden exhales through his nose, a poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier than you to be here. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. He'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off of, too. Luden's got a shorter wick than Hakon. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Verdfell, if we're lucky. Camp is where you manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by tapping the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in the Heroes tent. You can pass the time by using the Rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. A high morale will reduce casualties in war and affect your willpower in combat. Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in mock battle. Tap Leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to get back on the road. So Heroes is over here. And as I recall, I had someone level up. Let's see. Back up. I think it was... here we go. Grunolf. Let's promote him. Alright. Now I've got 2 points available. Looks like his highest stats are... strength and defense, so we'll go with those. There we go. When Ubin became the Varl King's tax collector, he was given an entourage of bodyguards to help him transport gold across the realm. Grunolf is the only one from the original group still alive, and for good reason. Here's the training tent and the rest tent. Morale improved. Let's get back on the road. And now let's just...
Wedderfell. Even the name means bad weather, where frozen wind sweeps in from the bay. They tend livestock, but most are just men driven from Strand with nowhere else to go. Why else would anyone stay? We won't stop long.
By hardboard. That's a lot of varl for some for some missing cattle. What? A couple days back, sent word to Strand about cattle. Didn't expect an army. He looks pleased with himself, until it sinks in that you're not here on his behalf. Where have your cattle gone? Wouldn't know. My boy's seen men up in the hills carrying them away. Don't know how many men can hoist a whole cow by himself. Scofflings out here, maybe? It could have Varl working for them. Not from what the governor told me. I'm going to have a look around and get camp set up. The peasant spits, his eyes anxiously darting about as the caravan sets up tents. We'll be here no more than a day. There's silver for any food that you've got. For hundreds of Varl? Are you serious? Whatever you're willing to sell. You thinking of squatting? Not enough room for a couple hunters here. Forget hundreds of... Shut up. You hear that? Where's Ludin? It's faint. Sounds like fighting and... something else. Hakon takes off at a run. Action! Clicking any tile will automatically make a path. You can also set waypoints. There to make a waypoint. Spearmen can attack diagonally and up to 2 tiles away. I can only select that one because it's halved. Yeah, it deflected. Now he's gonna hit him with that massive sword. To the rescue. Alright, I'll get my... Let's come to the Idiot Prince's aid. Let's do a special strike, take out both health and armor. Then I'll have him move behind. No, not Tempest. But I do want him to take out more armor. Ow. Alright, Shield Banger, you're up. Let's bring the pain. Did a fair amount of damage. Ow. 7 damage. What about Sundering Impact? Hit him again. He can't do much of anything, can he? Move him over here, and looks like we're hitting armor again. Yes, I did. Bring the pain again. Wow, he's almost dead. 8, 1. I need to deal some damage to these guys. Hopefully that did something. Let's have you move out of the way. Turn. And he's down. 6 and 3. Now we'll move here and bring the pain. Let's get this guy. He's the heaviest hitter. tough little fight so early in the game. Another 5. There we go. He's on the run. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Let's hit this guy for 8. Strike him. Get him to move forward. And then take out this guy before he's going to finish whatever he's going to do. Whenever an enemy falls in battle, 1 willpower star is added to your horn. Using the horn will give you 1 willpower to the active ally. Move here so I can hit him. Well, I'll hit 1. And then take him out. Down goes the dredge. Last man standing. Tough fight, but it is almost over. He's hurt. 1 last hit should do it. Down he goes. And a promotion. Excellent. Hakon's been promoted. Oh. Oh. He's injured. A fair amount of renown. Trying to get yourself killed, Ludin? What are you doing? I was trying to get a shot between the plates. You never seen a dredge before, boy? What kind of idiot break their armor first? Where did they come from? We didn't even see them. They were just there. Hakon goes to where Wagner lies face down. The future Varl king lies motionless, aside from a spreading pool of blood. Wagner's dead. And now, to shift perspectives. Where did that thing come from? Shh, stay close. I think it saw us.